David Pakman did an interview with Destiny. Now, Destiny is actually somebody who, he's like a game streamer on Twitch, but basically he talks about politics like most of the time and some other stuff, and he does a fuck ton of debates with pretty much anyone and everyone. And what you're going to be seeing here is they're going to be exposing Dave Rubin. So I've actually talked about both of these things here, which is interesting. You know, how Dave Rubin and David Pakman are basically no longer friends. Because basically, you know, Pakman had, you know, checked Dave Rubin really hard to the point where he was unable to actually respond. He didn't know what he was talking about when it came to that his income, if it was through a pass-through, it's not taxed, so it would drive him to further his profits. He didn't understand what he was talking about there. He also checked him saying that, hey, I support single payer and I'm a classical liberal, but he says, you know, it's diametrically opposed. And then he goes, and then he describes what his system is, and it's not even single payer healthcare. So, and also you're going to be seeing here Destiny talking about how Dave Rubin is, you know, he just brings basically people on for monologue. Check it out.
The argument, and this is on record. I'm not saying anything that people would know. During my interview with Rubin, I challenged him about that and said, you know, you had David Horowitz on who said Obama is a communist, and you didn't say, well, and can you give me one example of Obama pushing communist agenda or whatever? And Rubin's sort of general response has been, I'm not doing this to play point counterpoint. I'm doing it so that we can hear the set of ideas that different people might represent. How do you respond to that idea?
They're spineless hacks is what I would call them. I hate Dave Rubin. I'm sorry. I understand you might be friends with him, but I hate Dave Rubin. The way this is kind of like, this is the big like dividing thing that I'm old enough now to realize, and other people need to realize. And you know, people told me this before and I was too young or stupid to understand it. But basically, things happen whether or not you want them to. You have to understand that when you platform somebody, you can't just go, I'm just bringing them on to chat. You know, if somebody, you know, gets, you know, persuaded to their side, that's not my problem. No, that's a reality of the world that we live in. If you bring on somebody that's going to preach a hateful ideology and you don't question them on anything, then you are giving implicit approval to it, and there will be people that are persuaded to that side. Now, whether or not you want to acknowledge it is whatever. That's up to you for how much integrity you want to have, but you can't just pretend that this reality doesn't exist. So, you know, like insofar as Rubin saying, well, I'm just getting the ideas out there, it's like, okay, well, what do you personally think is morally acceptable? You know, do you have any moral values, or do you have anything that you feel, you know, strongly in? You know, do you think Rubin is gay, right? You know, would you platform somebody that legitimately thinks that gay people should be executed and not question them on anything, but just kind of like cheerily let them give their point of view and then, you know, kind of laugh and smile and then have them off, knowing that there are people watching that program who will go and investigate their content later and think that maybe they're okay? I mean, that's your responsibility, whether you like it or not. You have a responsibility as a public figure to some degree of the public discourse. And it doesn't matter if you accept that or not. It's just a reality.
Support independent progressive media by leaving a subscription down below. Leave a like and share the video. Help us out on Patreon, or you can donate in other ways. Links are in the description down below. We are fighting Trump tooth and nail, and we will continue to do so with your help.